affection, attention's been lacking. I stay backtracking to the good days. Reverse, you turn, it don't matter to me. Whatever takes me back to what it used to be. Will you go back there with me? Back to when our love was free. Will you go back there with me? Back to when our love was free. I've been feeling off track, wondering what's wrong with me, 'cause something got lost on the way. No, nothing feels the same, baby. I used to get lost in your phrase, something like butterflies and ecstasy. Can we take it back and long for whatever takes me back to what it used to be. Will you go back there with me? Back to when our love was free. Will you go back there with me? Back to when our love was free.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Saturday is with you.
Purple silhouette, so I know you can't see me. How long before I'm wishing like a genie? What's the reasonable reason for your hiding? Till last night I heard you calling on your mama. I cannot even vouch for you, I cannot call on you. So if I don't love you, not taboo. If you don't love me too. So I erase my matching tattoo, 'cause I put it on for you. If you ever start to really win, if you ever find your queen, I hope she lets you down, 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 down. I hope she lets you down, 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 down. Man, I hope she lets you down, 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 down. I hope she lets you down, 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 down.
Have you never focused on another? Have you never spoken, say brother? Have you ever noticed my hangover? You be driving me loco, reason I believe in you pronto. You were the one that was supposed to carry me go, but when I'm on the road, baby, that's why I cannot even vouch for you. I cannot call on you, and if I don't love you, not taboo. When you don't love me too. Now I erase my matching tattoo, 'cause I put it on for you. If you ever start to really win, if you ever find a king, and I hope he lets you down,
down, down, down, down. I hope she lets you down, 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 down. Man, I hope she lets you down, 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 down. I hope she lets you down, 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 down. Kwani, how many times I'm losing the fight? I've been ready to die, falling into you. Now ain't getting what took. Kikuni elimisha, when I wanna fall, I was into you. So now when you're gone and you're noticing, there was a diamond you didn't see. I've been shining my way out of your darkness. That's why I cannot even vouch for you, I cannot call on you. So if I don't love you, not taboo. If you don't love me too. So I erase my matching tattoos, 'cause I put them on for you. If you ever start to really win, if you ever find your queen, I hope she lets
it's short.
Oxygen mix.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sheversations. My name is Caroline Murote, and we are going to be having a good old conversation. Kawa. I hope you're doing well. How have you been? How is December treating you? And my good question to you guys is, are we disillusioned? Like tunakwanga tuna, like just because it's December, then it's gonna be a great time. Like, what if you don't have a great life? Like, what if your situation in life is not great? Like, automatically, just because it's December, then is your life automatically gonna change into this awesome time? Or is it about like the fact that everybody is generally on holiday mode, the fact that everybody is generally celebrating the end of the year? Then does that make it a good month for everybody? Like, I want us to have a realistic perspective. Is everybody enjoying December? Or is capitalism getting in the way? Is capitalism getting in the way? The economic systems, are they getting in the way? Weird family narratives, structures, like, ish. You come from those broken spaces. Is that getting in the way? Everything is okay for everybody. Boratuni Christmas. Yeah, because I feel like we just hear, this is fun. Just like how we know people celebrate Easter, but it's normally just a public holiday for people to sleep, eat, and do their sherehes. And other people don't even know what Easter is and why there's Easter. And they don't care. Like, kwao inakwanga tu public holiday, like, siendi shule, siendi job, whatever, it is what it is. Like, and then people progress with their lives. And so I'm asking, is Christmas actually a fun time for every single person? Can we all afford to have a beautiful, exciting, festive, Merry Christmas? Or is that a capitalistic illusion? Because for me, as a Christian, as a born-again child of God, honestly, Christ is the reason for the season. So whether I'm a millionaire or broke, I'm going to be okay. Like, I'm going to be living my best life because I am celebrating something that goes beyond the physical. Wild, trippy, I know, but that's what it is. Like, some of us are crazy. We choose to believe these crazy things because they literally work. They bear fruit in our lives. But speaking on a strictly physical, worldly, yani tuko tu hapa kwa hii dunia, kwa hii Kenya, hii Nairobi, is everybody enjoying life? Or is it limited to our financial circumstances? Because if we're talking about overeating, what about people who struggle to get food on a regular? If we're talking about, traveling, moving around, having a good old festive time, also then what happens to people who don't have the means to facilitate, who don't have the resources to facilitate for all of this, sherehes and all of those activities? Then what are we really talking about? Or at everybody's level, is it just Christmas throughout because everybody's in a spirit of good cheer, a spirit of sharing? Let me know what you guys have to say about this on our platforms at Power Radio across all social media.com. So that would be Facebook, that would be Instagram, that would be TikTok. Na hiyo ingine inaitwaje? Hiyo ingine mnaijua. You can also find me at Caroline_Murote on Instagram, Caroline Murote across every other platform. Also, if you want to talk to me directly, slide into my DM, ask for my number. Guys, I'm still looking for a husband. I'm looking for a husband. Guys, it's time. Yani, you people, you've made me find the end of the year and I seen a husband. Like, isn't it happy as our happy? Like, y'all don't love me. Like, I've been telling you guys the whole time since we met in June that me and you guys were babes, we're family, we're in this together. Like, hini naona hamnipendi. Like, y'all are not loyal. Because where's my husband though, guys? Like, when this is community work. And ndoa is marriage is community work. It's me lying. So stories are jaba. Labda I'm quoting the wrong circumstance. Anyways, the point remains that I am a single Pringle and niliachana na stories are lakeside men. It's okay, I've repented. I'm going to continue repenting because y'all told me that it's not fair. I need to be giving every single person a chance. Sasa every single person, hata sijapata hata a single person. I cannot find a single person. Yani tu kuniambia, hey, okay, XYZ. Like, give me a chance to shut somebody down. Like, give me a chance to break somebody's heart. Give me a chance to tell somebody's son no. Like, at least nijue tu nimeapproach you. Like, isn't it my what? This is not the kind of life I foresee for myself. and you people need to do better for me in 2025. Nishawambia, we've been talking about this thing for 2 months. Sindio, me 2027 kama sina husband, guys. Wacha niwaambie, you will not like the person. I've stopped because there are people who love me and care about me. And speaking of that, I want to know, mapenzi yenu inawapeleka aje? Like, how far have you guys gone? Fornicants, please, we said we stop fornicating. We said, please don't have September babies. We calculated that if you're making babies right now because, hey, it's December, it's Christmas, September babies. We said September babies, we know when you guys were made. So can you stop if that's not your plan? Okay, can we please enjoy our festive season responsibly? And according to every transport department ever, statistically, Christmas is one of the worst times for road accidents. So I'm going to need you guys to be extra careful. Yani super careful when it comes to how you're driving on these roads. And I know watu wako na makasiriko, you don't really have the time, you don't have the bandwidth to care about the next person. But I need you to care. I need you to care because there is no reason why, while the rest of us are celebrating Christmas, celebrating the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, Nyinyi wenye Christmas just a public holiday, just hanging out, having the time of your lives. There is no reason why other people should be mourning the loss of their loved ones. So I'm going to need everybody who's blessed to have a form and a mode of transportation that they're in charge of to be extra careful. Tell a friend that I said stay safe and arrive alive. Okay? Already. So we got into the show with the Zenia Manasseh, Anticipate, followed by Nikita Caring and Kemena saying Let You Down because bitterness. And we're gonna follow that up with my fave, Elsafan Njora and Manasseh Shalom saying a space a year two, for me and you. And then we're gonna have Stacy Kamatu with Soka Musi because Mwende Oshago, like mtu wake Nairobi, guys, like shida iko wapi?
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Nanjora wa Manjaro. Mini weni mouse. Tufike pale Disney, ribbon shati na blouse. Uliza Tom and Jerry kapati nataka clowns. Ama two stupid dogs, sisi tuko down bet. Nimepanga nina space ya two. Date kama tunda, breakfast for two. Tuseme nina hope ya you. Vile tuko fiku cheza kama cartoons. Here you go, Pewa balloon, Miss Cunningham, I'm your bear balloon. Call it serendipity, villain, I feel so due. Who knew to odd ones could even out the mood? Love TBT, kama rapa magoo. Sweet kama pipi, shika rapa I do. Si mas kwenda kinki pewa sweetie ya you. Ni mimi ni tekiti role play ni through. So come through, hapo kwangu kama 5+2. You like food, nina wagu in a sick na soup. You want proof, okay maybe ni kanyagu ya chum. Babora time na you, the rest si must to do. To vibe mama. Kama rumba mama, improvise na cham, hamna haraka hata. Mina wewe dada, ni time so tam sana. Songea karibu mama, hii ni just for you. Cause nimepanga nina space ya two. Date kama tunda, breakfast for two. Tuseme nina hope ya you. Vile tuko free kucheza kama cartoons. Nimepanga nina space ya two. Date kama tunda, breakfast for two. Tuseme nina hope ya you. Vile tuko free kucheza kama cartoons.
Dexter na Johnny Bravo. Tumekuja na ingine form juvenile. Sijui tukuite superwoman. Baby umeweza kama Kim Possible. Undeniable. Kele tukaue. Ekangu tapie nuwe resident. Na kwa president. Maembe maukamba God nothing on you, yeah. Makwase masoso ni meue. Ukangonye kusua no aisieli kaiele na kwa nina space for you, yeah.
Nimepanga nina space ya two. Date kama tunda, breakfast for you. Tuseme nina hope ya you. Vile tuko free kucheza kama cartoons. Nimepanga nina space ya two. Date kama tunda, breakfast for two. Tuseme nina hope ya you. Vile tuko free kucheza kama cartoons.
Cha mama Kalongolongo nivo Apana Nivo Apana Cha mama Cha baba Kalongolongo Nivo Apana Nivo Apana
nimepanga nina space ya 2 date kama tunda breakfast for 2
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
That's what he said to me. Rudi nyumbani, doesn't matter what you did. Shoka Moshe, that's what he said to me. Rudi nyumbani, doesn't matter what you did.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Stacey amewambia mrudi nyumbani, please. I know the context of the song is about, a lover mwenye, ameamua, it's not working. And she's like, babe, you need to come back home. You need to come back home. Lakini mimi Kenya nasema, because I don't believe in cohabiting and I don't believe in fornication, I would like people to go home to their families for Christmas. Please. Usibaki huku in Nairobi na machokora mkiorora. Mnaenda wapi? Unaenda wapi and people are slaughtering chickens or just staring at each other awkwardly uko ushago. Please, hata kama we ni mse wa Kiambu na ushago yako ni hapa tu. And as much as tulisema Nairobi kuna bakingi tu wezi na watu wa Kiambu. Just go, like change houses, change your scenery, go somewhere, eat some avocado, go somewhere, ukule chakula yenye hujazoea. Like if that's an option that's available to you, please do that. Please do that. And if you can't, like, tag along. Yani dandia sherehe za watu. Like, tag along. Be like, oh, is your family celebrating Christmas? Is there going to be like a big gathering? Can I come? Please do that. Like, don't be weird. Don't celebrate Christmas alone. Like, that's gonna suck. I'm telling you already, even if you think that that's what you want, that is not what you want. You think you know, but you don't know. So I'm here to tell you. Already. So right before Soka was here, we had Space here too, Asaf Jar and Manasseh Shalom. A space for me and you. Always, because there's so much a space for you, my loves, in my heart. Hey, shredders have been happening uko on the internets, the interwebs. Have been seeing a lot of Sarah Kabu. She says she's no longer Sarah Kabu, and her husband Jambo Jambo, even though anasamanga Jabo Jabo, like the shrubbing is very funny. It's really funny, honestly, like genuinely funny. Anaitangwa aje Simon na Sarah wamesema sasa watakani tena after a CCTV video was released where Sarah seemed to be attacking a young lady and holding a knife and threatening her, and then she literally started throwing things in a cute nice old house, and then Simon comes out of wherever and he's like, no, don't do that. What are you doing? At the end of the day, guys, that video trended. Swali ilikuwa, who released that footage? Because you guys come from a very tightly run household. You're literally millionaires in this country. You're celebrities in this country. You've been having CCTV in your houses. Hatujawai yona CCTV footage. It's really hard because the amount of firewall, my passwords, nini, personal devices that, whenever you see somebody on a CCTV, unajua too, it's not going to be easy to get that footage. So who released it? And word on the street is that it was Simon himself because, he really would like to tarnish his wife's reputation. And he's like, basi mjione venye kuko. And honestly, based on the way he's been responding, I am highly convinced that man released that footage. And my question is, ni sawa tu. It's okay. It's fine. You're angry. You're upset. Meachana. But honestly, was that the solution? Sa iyo kitu, what did it achieve? Honestly speaking, like sa umeachieve nini, except for showing the whole world your dirty laundry. Na sijasema people should be attacked and then remain silent, nini. But at the end of the day, nobody was actually harmed in that incident. And you can tell that this is a domestic affair. You can tell this man, because apparently the story is that waliachana and then Sarah had gone back to the house to get her things. And then she finds Shorty over there. Yeah, Shorty's just like chilling. And Sarah is like, just get out of my face. Who the hell do you think you are? Because she was in the kitchen and the girl was in the dining hall. So si ati amefika, ni ati wanaongeleshana. And my question is, walikuwa naulizana aje? And you already know that this is a married woman. She's not been divorced. She has not yet been divorced. You're in her husband's house. So, niliwatch video ingine yenye ilisema don't mock a pain that you have not experienced. And as knowing that unfortunately Simon Kabu has been allegedly, nimesema allegedly, yeah, unfaithful, because is a story, see, the first time she already left home. She's left home before very publicly. She did a whole interview on YouTube. And my thing is, why would you be found in a married woman's house? I'm the husband to a married woman. And then when she gets to the house, you're still there. Let me tell you, devil's advocate, if I was a side chick, alafu bibia my person, aingie, mi nimetoka mistaki kujua. I don't want to die. Like, what do you see? Like, we should just, like, your audacity natoka wapi. But, this is this unfortunate situation where a lot of those older established men really put young women in a position to, really disrespect wanawaitanga the goat wives. Saa mwenye ako on papers as the official wife. Kuna a very, very serious, like it's a culture. It's a very disgusting and irritating culture where you find that this man is really empowering this young lady, because we want empowerment, but that's not what we're talking about. He's really empowered this young lady to honestly see this other woman as nothing. And I'm like, this woman has given you your 2 children, the ones that we know, even before we found out that he had another daughter who's a whole grown up. Like, you have a whole family that you have put on YouTube, on social media. You have been celebrating each other as the Kabus, like we know you as the Kabus. And then unahama, unatoka mnachana, and then your wife comes and you don't tell this other girl or girls to leave. That is just weird. Like, ata kama mmeachana ni sawa, and then you lick the CCTV footage. Sir, come on. Sarah, yes, anger management, but would I be pissed off if the man that I am not yet divorced from, like we are just breaking up, would I be pissed off if his side chick was in the house? 100% yes. What are we saying? We're saying that people need to do better, 100%. If your marriage has ended, can you just be sensible about it? If you guys are not getting along, could you not humiliate each other in public? It's hard enough having a relationship breakup. And knowing that you have humiliated this woman in public before multiple times, she has forgiven you publicly for the sake of your marriage, because a woman apparently is the one that keeps the home together. It's very selfish. And ata kama, the story is kitu ingine, like something else, based on all the stories, based on all the, the videos that we've seen, based on all the information that they have shared, honestly speaking, this whole situation is a mess and has been handled terribly. And honestly, I do not blame Sarah for, going on social media, first of all, to say that was not my house help. Number 2, to say, I am not gonna carry this man's name anymore. Do not refer to me as Kabu, because life update. I don't know who that man is. I do not know who that man is. That man is not my man anymore. It might seem petty, but it's important because the internet keeps referring to her as Sarah Kabu, Sarah Kabu. I am here referring to her as Sarah Kabu. Skumbuki yo jina lisema tumuite Sarah Bonfire Adventures, tumuite hivyo, just out of respect for the fact that she does not want to be associated with her soon-to-be ex-husband. The situation is wild, and I've been saying here since day one, keep your relationships outside of the media unless that is the work that you're doing. Like, your work is literally on marriage, it's on relationships. And even then, know that there's what is personal and what is for public consumption. But the minute you see your mess tumbling over, like across my Instagram, on my Twitter, on my TikTok, it's a little bit embarrassing. It doesn't really matter who did what and why. Both of you people are responsible. And people have gotten a little bit too comfortable with social media. We're not your friends, guys. Like, sisi hatuwajui. We don't even love you the way the people around you love you. Like, do you get? So when you're playing all these PR games, at the end of the day, you have kids who are going to be dragged in the mud. You have kids whose friends in school are going to ask them all sorts of questions. You have kids whose teachers in their schools are going to look at them some type of way. You have kids whose community members in your church, supermarket, malitu wataenda, who are going to be defined by the petty mud-slinging campaigns that you guys are doing all over social media. Do you get what I'm saying? So hakuna mtu inasaidia. Alafu Ruto alisema mwache kumchora. Amesema, guys, stop drawing me kasongo. Alafu, have you guys recovered from being called like pepo na mliitwa aje? Mapepo na maroho mbaya. Pepo chafu, even ndio mliitwa. Nasema nyinyi because mimi siezi. Can never be me. Have you guys recovered from being called pepo chafu? Wow, I feel like our president, the honorable, Samuel Ruto, amechoka. Like, he's like, guys, I know you don't like me, but it's like, this is a bit much. Like, inauma. Like, honestly, the past few times he's spoken in public, or rather that particular time, you can tell that he's hurting. You can tell that he's just not okay with the fact that the whole country hates him. Sata sijui niseme aje, because I know the reason why the country hates him, and I don't want us to hate our president. I also don't want our president to continue putting us in all this weird situations. So tuseme tu tunachia Mungu. But let me know on @Power Radio, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on TikTok. Let me know at Caroline_Murote on Instagram, Caroline Murote on Facebook, X, and TikTok. Let me know how you're feeling about being called Pepo Chafu, because personally, bado sijui kama nime recover from being a treasonous criminal. I don't know. Like, I'm still feeling like a treasonous criminal. Like, I can still smell the tear gas. I can still see the pink water and the green. I can see it still, So sasa hizi zingine, labda next year nita process ati sisi ni Pepo Chafu. But he made a point. I would have to say that y'all will hate to hear this, but he did have a point when he says that Kenyans oppose everything. We are born opposition, and at some point, we need to let go of our birthright. Like, we need to disconnect ourselves from this culture of opposing everything, because it's not cute. It's not progressive. So hata kama tumekasirikia watu, tuangalie venye tunaongelelea this country so that it's just not a deep, dark hole that we live in, and everybody else on social media who's looking at what we're saying about our country will also see that our country is a deep, dark hole. Do you get? And I know Kenyans will come for anybody who comes for us on the socials. But at the same time, we're not doing a great job of, thinking positively about our country and changing the situation. So that's a challenge to every single Sheversationalist that's listening in, that's watching, that wacha nikwambie, like, things are going to be bad. In Moi's time, things were bad. In Kibaki's time, according to people, things were bad. Uhuru's time, we were there, Nisisi, everybody who's alive now, aside from probably people under the age of 10, 5, they were there. Like, you saw that things were bad. Sai mtasema things are bad, but then the next president, you're gonna think that this one was better. So the thing is, just actually see if there's any good right now. See if there's anything worth celebrating, and if you can't find it pale State House, tafuta pale Senate. Mtafute pale governor's office, mtafute MCA, mtafute, like, there's somebody somewhere who's doing good work, and let's focus on that, because otherwise then we're just going to be drinking and eating depression kila siku, because we just can't change the circumstances. So let's change our perspective about it. And right about now, we are gonna get into some good energy, some good vibes, because that's what we need. And so this is energy from Polaris Pauline, and then we celebrate Melanin with Dark Skin by Brandy Minor. This is for you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Maisha ina stress but sitachoka, manake mimi staya mimi nyota, Mungu peke ndio mimi nitaogopa. Get back 'cause unachoma choma daily na meremeta, form yangu ni kutesa, usikol kama si pesa, bade najipeleka, inaselela dombola, mande mana lose composure. We catch flies, not feelings, leo tuna dance for ceiling. Don't waste my time, don't miss my energy, don't kill my vibe, don't mess my energy. Let's say goodbye, just fly around with me. Let's spend some time, just spend some time with me. Feeling important, feeling like something is coming all over me. Feel like a soldier, feel like I'm going to war with the enemy. I've gotten older, I'm very comfortable with my identity. It's never over, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm feeling hypnotized, I'm feeling like a child. I need to realize I'm feeling so alive. I take off my disguise and I get myself the prize. I don't mean to be shy, all I can do is try. Don't waste my time, don't miss my energy, don't kill my vibe, don't mess my energy. Let's say goodbye,
Just fly around me. Let's spend some time. Just spend some time with me. Some people search and seek until they find the light. Some people think that everything they think is right. Some people don't believe in peace, they want to fight. Some people not my type. Some people not the vibe. Shangilia, pango yote imepangiliwa. Shida yetu yote tatuliwa. Maisha yetu imebarikiwa. Shangilia, pango yote imepangiliwa. Shida yetu yote tatuliwa. Maisha yetu imebarikiwa.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
You say you like all comba. Baby, turn around and pull up to me bumper. Your skin smooth like jojoba. Ati wanafanya nini? Wanaogopa. Dark skin na nachocha. Melanin na lova. Nobody can boca. Well, they tried sometime back in November. They really didn't think I would remember. Sahi, my confidence in me rise. I never used to be like this before. I used to be so damn insecure. Achikuwa dark skin lana. Haters are working loud. Nothing ever sweet like coco. Get on the dance floor, make them loco. You say you like all comba. Baby, turn around and pull up to me bumper. Your skin smooth like jojoba. Ati wanafanya nini? Wanaogopa. Dark skin na nachocha. Melanin na lova. Nobody can boca. You say you like all comba. Baby, turn around and pull up to me bumper. Your skin smooth like jojoba. Ati wanafanya nini? Wanaogopa. Dark skin na nachocha. Melanin na lova. Nobody can boca. You don't know how I like your confidence. The way you walk, how you talk, it's evident. Black is the beauty, so more for them, so more for them. You are a star, brown skin, una kill. Oh, show them who you are. You are a star, brown skin, una kill. Oh, show them who you are. You like a loco. Like loco, you like that toto, like that toto star. You like loco, like loco, you like that toto, like that toto star. You like loco, like loco, you like that toto. Like that toto star. You like a logo. Like a loco, you like that toto. Like that toto star.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Welcome back to Power Radio. The time is 20 minutes to 12, 20 minutes to 1:30 Monday. And you are going to be spending 1:30 Monday with me, Miss Caroline Murote. So, We have been listening to the good sounds of Brandy Minor. That was a dark skin. And right before that, who did we have? I'm gonna be letting you know in just a minute. But Leo Hotekietu Nigani, what is the opinion of the day? The opinion of the day is that watu wako na shida na women's independence. That people have an issue with women's independence. Yeah. That women's independence is a problem. And nimekumbuka ilikuwa energy. Polaris Pauline. Woo, 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 woo. And she was on that track with wanakwanga wengi. It's Polaris Pauline. It is Modoni Drama Queen. It is Mayonde. Yeah. HSKE. So that was Energy and Dark Skin by Brandy Minor. Opinion yenu leo, in my opinion, women's independence is an issue. People are very uncomfortable, honestly, and this is a fact. A lot of people are very, very uncomfortable for various reasons. Some ridiculous and some very well thought out, very realistic, very, very valid. Yeah, but basically there's a lot of opinions about women's independence and this women's empowerment movement. And let's see why. Like, so what's actually been the issue? You know, why have women needed independence? Why have women needed empowerment? Let's have a conversation about that. So let's look at the cultural expectations. Indio, let's see how in most cultures, and najuanga tu kuna kuanga na shida, because what we see as culture is often a post-colonial lens to things as they are supposed to be. So a lot of the time, Kenya tunaonanga is not actually what our cultures are. So the reality of the situation is that for most of us post-colonial nations, we are living in neo-colonialism. We are living in an era where whatever it is that we refer to as culture has actually been tainted and tarnished by the lenses of westernization and the white gaze. So a lot of the time when I talk about my Kikuyu culture, a lot of it is what we used to do from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, because see the generations that are alive now and which aspect of their culture they actually practice. A lot of our great-grandparents and our grandparents experienced their cultures with a lot of brokenness because, for example, a lot of Kenyan men went to fight in the World War. We had no business. Like, ilikuwa inatuhusu aje ati Germany wanapigana na China na sijui nani mwingine. Like ilikuwa inatuhusu aje. And because we were under colonial powers, it wasn't like, oh my God, let me go fight for my country. No, sir, you were a slave that was forced to fight for your masters. Go and die for your masters. And so a whole generation of grandparents, men, few ladies, but a whole bunch of men left this country to fight the war, fought some of it, what was actually happening. And so you have a whole generation of forefathers that have post-traumatic stress disorder. They have PTSD. Sindio. And they come back home and they can no longer perform their roles as men. They're no longer present. They are no longer, if you are a happy man, then maybe you're less happy. If you're an energetic man, now you're just the snooze. If you are a very authoritative man, now you might be just an abusive man. And that is the culture that was passed down to now who we know to be our grandfathers. For some of us, our great-grandfathers. And that is what our fathers learned. And then we have this very interesting perspective of a very toxic, very oppressive culture towards women. And my argument is that wasn't even our culture to begin with. The abuse that we see in our country was not how we, like Kenyan cultures, Kenyan tribes, first of all, these borders inakuanga shida. Because we were known as peoples, we were not known as countries. The idea of borders is a very Western concept and it's a very oppressive, a very colonial system. Because now, sa najaribu kujiona who I am through the lenses of Kenya. Like in Kenya, there's a the Maasai, the Ma community. We have the Luyas, we have the Luos, we have the Kikuyus, like the Gema. As in, we're too different. So as peoples, una realize that why is it that we seem to have a common culture of toxicity towards women? even though unajua that's not our culture, because there is no way a Maasai man and a Kikuyu man are behaving similar, a Luo man and a Kisi man are behaving similar, if you understand how different we are in the way that we do things. But because we are looking at ourselves as Kenyans, and now kuna hizi tabia zenye tumefunzwa na tunafunza the next generation, that is now the issue that a lot of women have taken up in this empowerment struggle. And so when you wanaonanga that women's independence is an issue and culture this, culture that, realize that that's not the culture that we were given initially. That is not the culture that we were born with initially. Honestly speaking, that's not the culture that we had before the colonial masters came to take over and honestly mess up with the systems that we know. So the cultural expectations now within that perspective of culture is that women were expected to prioritize family and relationships. Because remember, before that, we didn't have the industrial age. Hakukuwa na kwenda job ilikuwa chop firewood, men go hunting, they go fight wars for the people, the tribes and all of that. And Right now, women prioritizing their personal goals is seen as rebellious, is seen as a threat to like a family's stability. It is seen as something that's just not admirable. That's really, really sad. Also, currently, right now, the struggle for empowerment that women have is really an issue when it comes to the male ego and a lot of insecurity. Again, we're looking at this society that has been broken by structures that we're never fighting for us. We're not talking about who we are if we take our true identity and, just make sure that that rings true. We're talking about, let's be honest and talk about how colonialism affected us. Let's be honest and talk about how capitalism has affected us. Let's be honest and talk about how this broken education system that does not actually teach us anything is actually an oppressive system. Let's be honest about how that has affected us and the nature of men it has created. So, sasa mimi ukiniona, I am living my best life, power woman, just winning, a girl boss lady, iron lady. Yeah, and then unapata to that, no, girl, you're too much because this is not healthy. How are you gonna find a man to love you? You need to just fizzle down if you expect a man to love you, because you can't be like this. Hamwezi compete. That is another reason why women have been fighting for their empowerment, and that is also a good reason why men would not like it, because hawajazoea people who will just disregard the fact that you're broken and say, no, you can actually work on this. This is an excuse. If society broke men, best believe that society also broke women. So can we all grow and unlearn? Can we actually unlearn? Can we stop, making excuses and stop building and enabling terrible versions of what it means to belong in these genders? Because at some point, if women are thriving in this society, then we are okay with men thriving in the society, just not at the expense of anybody. So if men have been happy to thrive alone for so many years, happy to be supported while they're thriving in their education, in their careers, then can the same also happen for women? It's really, truly not a competition. And I think that is where women are coming from. And that's why a lot of men would have an issue, because it's just uncomfortable when somebody, you do unto others as you would like for them to do unto you. So now when it comes to our genders, because I don't even think it's a war of the genders, I truly think it's a whole spiritual thing. It's a whole colonial thing. But at the end of the day, how it presents itself is that that's the enemy. They are the enemy, or, they see us as the enemies. But at the end of the day, the reality is when you have existed in a toxic and unhealthy power system for so long, it's kind of weird when you see somebody else on the driver's seat. You're like, no, mine. And because it's unhealthy, it's also egotistic. And ego does not know fair. Ego does not know just. Ego does not know how to share, because ego is all about me, self. And that's a toxic post-colonial male culture that has really been nurtured in Kenya. So men don't understand empowered women. And because women are tired of being pulled down, they're like, honestly, we don't care about you people. Like, Simlie, we don't care about you. What do you have to offer me? And then now you're just raising two genders of broken people, and women becoming another version of empowered brokenness. And that's what happens when we don't work together. So the fact that women's independence is a problem is a fact. Should it be a problem? No. But should it look different? Should we go about it differently? 100% yes. Another reason why people have an issue with this women empowerment nini is the fact that women are very honest about neglect. They're very honest about like, please, sir, dad, I was your daughter and you prioritized your son's education. You gave your son's land, you did not give me. Sasa now, when I'm a married woman and I'm putting aside money secretly to own my own piece of land because I'm not sure if my daughters will inherit my husband's land because I didn't inherit my father's, then that's justification. But actually, when we talk about this neglect that has been happening when it comes to women, we often just look at ourselves within urban spaces. This is a privileged space where I sit now, literally, also figuratively. The fact that I'm in a position to be having this conversation with you means that I am very empowered. It means that I am not the women that we talk about who need empowering, because there's women in a village near me who did not go to school. There's women in a village near me who did not inherit land to allow them to start off as well as their brothers who inherited land from the same family. There's a woman near me who was married off at 9 years old. A woman near me who had to undergo female genital mutilation. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the fact that women are often relegated to lesser than positions in society is a good reason for them to take up arms and say, listen, screw everybody. We are the bosses now. Who run the world? Girls. And that's what's going on. So there is this, no, women are neglected. And so society doesn't like hearing that women are neglected, because society looks at Caroline Murote on Sheversations on Power Radio and decides that there is no way that women are neglected when my boss is a woman, my manager is a woman, my supervisor is a woman, 3 of the neighborhood mansions belong to women. There are so many women drivers on the road. Out of the Kenyan population of 60, how many million? How many of those women are the ones that you're seeing? How much of the 60 million of that population do they make up? Because Kenya is predominantly women, right? The world is predominantly women. There are more women in the world than men. So how many of us are here? Compared to all the girls that were born in my village, how many of us are in positions of being able to live their best lives? Very few of us. So that's what happens. So yes, women's independence is perceived as a problem. Is it a problem though? Depends on all the different perspectives that we've actually discussed here today. I'd love to hear what your take is on this topic, because, hey, I know isn't your topics in a rub people off the wrong way, but listen, we're going to have to like jog our intellect. We need to open our eyes and actually have conversations beyond what are we having for dinner and what time am I going to get to work, and can I please finish my whatever assignment, whatever level, you're at, whether you're a student, you're at work, you're an entrepreneur, you're a freelancer. We need to have conversations that go beyond our personal everyday lives, because that's how we don't end up in the streets eating tear gas every single year. You see where I'm going with this conversation already. And because I know you already have a good for me, then holla. I'm waiting to see what you guys have to say. Kamakawa, it's at Power Radio across all platforms, and Caroline Murote across all platforms. So let's get into some chill vibes. We have a Barbara Wangoe with Kanyoni, and then Nikomaju by Fee.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
You used to call me your little bird. Kanyoniga kwa kainaga. For when your spirit sank low, I'd sing them off the floor for you. The other buddies, yeah, they told me they saw you watching from the balcony. We want to bring you up here to help us with the cheer of life. You said no, you never sang, you did. wrote a song for you. We wrote it in a day or two. A song about birds that watch other birds sing tunes. And it goes ooh. You said you'd like to try to sing. Would anybody really listen then? What if it wasn't that great? Or maybe it's too late to learn something. The other buddies will be listening, and they will help you in a heartbeat. We want to bring you up here to help us with the cheer of life. We watched you close your eyes, spread your wings, get ready to fly. And you sang, ooh. And rejoiced. This is a song I wrote for you. I hope you're somewhere out there listening to your little bird and all the other birds sing tunes.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Sikubebanga sweta, kumbe hukuweza ningori. But I'ma call you later, tell you all about it. Nina miss motora, smoky pasua, avocado ya group of schools. Cause it tastes different out here, and I miss you when you're not here. Mimi niko majuu, flying, grinding. Tell you when I come through. Oh na 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 na, oh na na. Mimi niko majuu, flying, grinding. Tell you when I come through. Oh na 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 na, oh na na. Yeah, 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 Akiwendi ningekuletea fenti, si ati ni juicy pendi, bagi imejaa, nimetumwa na watu wengi. To my lover and my sons, I'll be home soon. Nina miss tukilala in the afternoon. After church tukipitia Kikuyu. Can't wait to come home and hold you. Mimi niko majuu, flying, grinding. Tell you when I come through. Oh na 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 na, oh na na. Mimi niko majuu, flying, grinding. Tell you when I come through.
days you feel like the world is on fire. Some days you feel like you're swimming and flying. Some days you wake up and you don't feel like you wanna chase what you don't see. But some days you feel like you're floating up high. So how about you try this time? Lifting up your head and sing out. What more than I see, there's more inside of me. Just lift up your voice and say, nitajaribu tena kesho, nitaamka upya na nisonge. Hata wakipenda kunivunja, mambo yakizidi unga, sitashindwa kujivuta. Kesho naamka upya, kesho naamka upya. Some days I know that you think of surviving, but you sleep and wake up and don't feel like fighting. But there's space in your soul to keep wanting more, to desire to soar. But some days you know that their words, they mean nothing. So how about you try this time? Lifting up your head and say, what more than I see, there's more inside of me. Just lift up your voice and say, nitajaribu tena kesho, nitaamka upya na nisonge. Hata wakipenda kunivunja, mambo yakizidi unga, sitashindwa kujivuta. Kesho naamka upya.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
This is Hendrix Sound.
Misikatai, unanidai, akiwalahi, ninaogopa sitadinai. I want you to lie, ni vile I'm trying to find good love, baby, baby. I'll be the one for you. Baby, maybe I'll be the one for you. I'll be the one for you. I'll be the one for you. You take your love away. Take your love away. Don't you take your love away. I'll be the one for you. Don't you take your love away. Take your love away. Don't you take your love away. I'll be the one for you. The one for you. Mpenzi utangoja, yeah. Mpenzi utangoja, yeah, yeah. Sitaki we uchoke, yeah. Sitaki we uchoke, yeah. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. If you wait for me, I don't need nobody else. I'm trying to find good love, baby, maybe, and I'll be the one for you. Baby, maybe I'll be the one for you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Oh, welcome back. My Sheversation. It is the time is 6 minutes past 12. And I am having a good time hanging out with you on this half past Monday. So to Kubali, that's the thing. It's half past Monday right now. And well, if you can't see, you better open your eyes because I'm not alone in studio. I am joined by a human. He's gonna introduce himself right about 5, 4, 3 now.
Hi guys, my name is Billy Mango.
Hi, Billy Mango.
Yeah.
Okay, Mango.
Yeah, it's crazy. It actually is Mango, Mango.
Yeah.
I think I should get around having people pronounce it right.
No, you need a card.
I actually do.
Yes, Mango, and then in brackets and italics, it's actually Mango.
It's actually I was thinking the same thing.
Yes, and then the dictionary pronunciation.
Anyway, it's a Luya name. My mom didn't love mangoes. She didn't eat too many mangoes when she was having me.
Wow.
It actually is a Luya name. It's supposed to be Mango.
But like, how do you introduce yourself though? Because even right now you just said my
I
name
know.
is Billy Mango.
The problem is me. So I never have any issue with someone saying Mango.
He said that the problem is him. I'm Amesha Kubali, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay because you've actually accepted that you're the drama.
I actually am.
Yes. All right. Okay. So I would love to know a little bit about you before we even get into anything serious. Because oh my gosh, we are in such an interesting season in this country. We've had a rough year, long year, interesting, crazy year, and currently we are on our last day on Sheversations, the Sheversations series of 16 days to activism. 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Kumanisha, today is our last when it comes to 16 days, but we're going to continue talking about gender-based violence. But I'd just like to take a moment and just come off of that because it's looking kind of weird, you know. So I just want to talk about you. Tell me your favorite childhood memory.
My favorite childhood memory. Hey, let me remember. It was when we were kids. So my aunt was working in this company, and then they had us get tickets to go and watch Shrek. I think that was my first time in the cinema. It was amazing.
What were you gonna watch?
Watching Shrek.
Shrek 1, 2?
I think we were watching 2.
Okay, 2.
Yeah, with the fairy godmother. Yeah. I loved it.
I don't even remember what was going on there. I just know that they're green, guys. There's Shrek, there's Fiona, there's a donkey. That's all I remember. And the guy, was that in Shrek? The short guy, the short guy with the ego, like the
Lord Farquaad.
Yes, yeah. Lord Farquaad. Was he there in the whole series? Was he there in
the entire franchise? No, he's actually in the first part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's in Shrek 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no okay, now I know. So what happened so that, you know, that became like your favorite childhood memory?
I don't know. We got to experience it with my sister and cousin. We basically grew up together. So having to like come out of home, we're not watching it over the TV. Again, as I've said, it was my first time in the cinema.
Okay.
So when I stepped in there, I was like, this place looks so amazing.
Right? Like, wow. Because honestly, the cinema does have a vibe because first of all, you can see where you're going, but it's also dark. The chairs are comfy, right? And then the screen is so big, and then the sound, it's an experience.
Yeah, it was an amazing cinema. The sounds, it was immersive. It was amazing. Let me just say amazing. That's all I can say. Okay. And having to do it with my sister and cousin who are a treasure to me. So it's a core memory.
I can tell that you're a sentimental person.
I actually really am.
Like you love the people that you love. You value the people that you love.
True.
You're like, don't mess with my people. Are you those people that would beat people up for your people?
Violence. Guys, I'm gonna Mahatma Gandhi this. I will not be physically fighting people.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Why does this sound like there's a but?
No. Hear me out. There is no but.
He's like, I'm swinging, like I'm throwing hands. Are you being honest? He's like, am I supposed to say this live?
Off air. Let's meet on the side of air.
And you may attend.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Awesome. But okay, that was your favorite childhood memory. Mine, Asinanga favorite. Actually, I have many childhood memories that are wild. And a couple of days ago, I was having, what was it? Actually, at Kumbuki tulikuwa wapi. But I was with a bunch of people. We're sitting in somebody's living room, and we were sharing our childhood memories. Like, okay, what were you doing as a kid? Like, especially those funny, crazy stories. And I never know. So, do you want to hear about the one where I drove my mom crazy and wasted her money when it came to my upkeep? Am I the one where I tried to throw myself into the pit latrine? Am I the one that involves a cemetery? Like, it's like a...
So quick question before we dive into that. Your core memory, like favorite memories are hinging on you having fun and other people suffering on your account. Like pause.
Like, well,
Pause.
I do like I
Pause,
don't understand
pause.
why we're being so deep, because like, why are you trying to drag me? Why are you trying, like, see now Mike inaanguka. No, listen, there was a lot going on. As a child, as a 4-year-old, how old were you? This cute cinema story, like.
I was 7.
Okay, yes. So I was 4. There's you don't need reasons for anything when you're 4 years old. You just do things and life happens to you. Like if they're gonna wanakuchukua tu wanakuambia it's time for bathing, unajipata tu umetolewa nguo, unaoshwa, unaambiwa tunaenda, hata uambiwi. You're being lifted up. Nobody is telling you anything. No. So with the same energy, order for order, pia mimi, I used to do whatever I wanted. Like I also did not explain anything to anyone. I was just existing. At 4 years old, guys, if you find a 4-year-old, like usimuulize maswali mingi. I also do not know. I just know that this happened and I was there. Are you judging me?
I'm not.
You're judging me so loudly with your silent sighs. So 4-year-old Caroline, Gani. Which one should I? Okay, let me just tell the cute one. This one is cute. The other ones are so dramatic. Basically, my hair is really fine. So, like, it's really hard to, like, kuishika. And then, kids just barely have hair. Okay, wachani jongelele. I know some of you people are flourishing. I barely, like, I had, like, almost no hair. Like, my hair was very scarce, right? And so my mom only had one lady in the neighborhood. The whole of Gashie called Maria. Maria was the only person who could do my hair. Like nobody else could. See ati walikuwa like they didn't like doing it. Like they literally could not shika my hair. Maria was the only person who could actually hold my hair, and I wasn't screaming, crying, and I really liked Maria. So Maria was very she was highly like busy and booked. She was busy and booked. She was all over the place. She was a village hottie. Everybody wanted Maria to do their hair. Sindio. So it was very hard to get a hold of Maria, not because she was not available for us, but because my mom was a teacher and she had to be there when she took me to the salon. And so she could only do that on a Saturday and a Sunday because her weekdays were fully preoccupied with school. So imagine Maria every once a month, ama once every 3 weeks, lazima tafutwe. A particular weekend, na kama ni this weekend, you already know that my mom knows that I'm sorted for the next month or month and a half, right? Until my hair starts unraveling. And this story happens like 3 or 4 times. So this, whatever I'm describing, happens 3 or 4 times. So what happens? My mom takes me to the salon, sits there for like a couple of hours. Maria has put the cute lines on me. She's put the little cute beads that you put on kids. She's used a thread, a very light thread. And I look nice. I'm 4 years old and I'm in there in those big poofy princess dresses. Tell me why. Right after my mom took us back home and she entered the house and left me outside to play, tell me why I decided that the right place for me to go and play ni kwa mchanga, to do headstands and bury my head in the sand. Tell me why I then decided to go into the house, and for some reason she didn't see me, had no idea I had even gone back inside. Nikajipaka Vaseline kwa kichwa. Because, as a child, unaona ukipakwa mafuta, ujui si Vaseline. So again, as a 4-year-old child, there's no reason, there's no timing. I'm like, oh, you pakad my hair mafuta jana. Sikumbuki nikipakwa mafuta leo. So nikakumbuka tu, like, no, we must fix that.
Proactive.
Like, do you understand? Like, I was assertive. I was in charge of my business. I was on top of business, right? And so I go and I pack up my head. Like, of course, 4-year-olds just know how to put the whole hand. I'm like, plenty, abundance, like, is always a win. Alafu nimejiweka. Like, it's smeared, literally, like slathered and smeared that thing on my head. And then I went back to play. 2 hours later, my mother, Joyce Wanjiro, ametoka yo Wanjiro, Mama Karo, ametoka, and she's like, she screamed, she scram. She's like, what? Like, let me tell you, like if she could have, like I feel like she could have cried, and then she remembered that she's a mother and she has another child, because at that point my sister was 2 years old. And did I tell you the part where the story happens like 4 different times? So hata sikumbuki kama nilichapwa. My mom never used to beat me up. She just used to talk to me and explain like why I can't do this. Yeah, and I used to forget like a 4-year-old should. And so that's like one of my favorite memories, because it's just I'm like, I like that girl. Why are you judging me?
At someone's expense, but anyway.
Like my mother's expense. I'm 4 years old. That was me living my best life. Would you have rather be some child, quiet, nothing to say, nothing
I
to do?
actually was a quiet child.
He was boring. Wachana tu nayo. But like, speaking, because now let's get into you. So who are you now? What are you doing in life? What do you like? Like, what do you have to offer?
So
money. Basically,
as
men should give us money.
Money. Guys.
Na amejishika kifua, chest pains.
I think one of the craziest things is my excitement to actually want to be an adult, and then me realizing everything that adulthood requires, and I'm just like, please,
a scam.
Take me back.
Capitalistic, like I want to go play in the sand.
Please.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it's not that serious. Having me fighting for my life on a Monday, but back into who I am. I'm Billy Mango. Again. Okay. I am an ACS major.
All right.
Applied computer science major at Daystar University.
Applied computer science.
Yeah.
Brav. Like commas, brackets, spaces.
Techie.
No, guys, because izo hesabu. First of all.
Actually, math is so amazing.
No.
I've loved it since I was a kid. But basically now with computer science, we delve into so much. Web development, mobile development, like so many things. What else do I love doing? Singing. I love singing.
Okay.
But I've laid off the craft for a bit, and I haven't released music. So do ask for music. You're like, where's your music?
Unasikia wasanii, these people who are just lost. I love how he just led with like, don't ask me because I'm gonna disappoint you in advance.
Yeah.
So do better. The fact that you know that I was gonna ask that means that you know that haujaifanya. So yes. you already know.
Yeah, actually is a problem. Seeing things through to the end.
Fix it.
It needs help.
Okay.
But basically, yeah, that's it. Currently now I'm enrolling in ALX for the front web development program. It's about for 8 months, yeah.
Ebu, break that down for us. What's front? What's that?
Front end. Basically, when we're talking about front and back end, why are we getting into tech? But like, anyway, let's get into it.
Yeah, no, we want to get into tech.
So now with front end, we usually deal with what you as a user view.
Okay, the user interface.
Yeah.
So nikifungua, so are we talking phones? Are we talking PCs or just whatever?
Just basically now, for example, now with the web, how you view, for example, your basic search engine.
Okay.
When you're looking at Chrome.
Okay, the button, the X is in the corner. Right.
There's actually like a lot of work that goes into it. People just don't wake up and say, you know what, let's put X on this slot.
Sometimes they do some of these Windows updates. Yeah, the problem that was Windows 8, Windows 11 is like better, because I know people liked Windows 7 and they liked Windows 10, because I was fighting for my life not to move to Windows 11. But Windows 8 was somebody who just woke up and said, I don't like this. Let's change everything for absolutely no reason and let's make everything really impractical. So I beg to differ. Actually, some of you people are not okay. Yeah.
Well, basically now with tech, one thing we always know about the business, I stand by this controversial opinion. The customer does not know what they want. And I stand by it.
Cancel this man.
I stand by it.
Cancel.
The customer does not know what they want. And I'm not basically saying that I'm psychic or something by the time you're coming to me and you're telling me, oh, but this is what I need for my web or anything. I'm just saying half the time, something seems so impractical, but we're not delving into tech as a field.
I am offended on behalf of everybody who does not know what they want. Just because we don't know what we want does not mean that you should tell us to our faces.
Well, basically, I'm on air, so.
If you with all these stories, like you saying, you're a techie, you're a student, you care about things, you're a sentimental guy. If your life was a hashtag, what would it be? If you had to describe either your life or you as a human being, what would that hashtag be? Because we're canceling you, so we need to know what we're using.
I think like a hashtag that describes me.
A hashtag for you, like your life, you. Like unaona keeping up with the Kardashians, they put keeping up KUW.
Yeah.
T evil, whatever. You see where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my hashtag would be the mango hype.
The mango hype?
Yeah.
But what is that thing that you're doing with your show?
No,
What was that? You felt it? You're like,
I'm not getting it.
I'm not getting it.
Like, let me cook. I'm telling you guys, I'm literally gonna be. I thought like I'm gonna be a household name in this country.
A world leader.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, oh my god, I know Mango.
What's he doing?
Yeah,
Let me go check.
he's a whole experience.
Oh, a whole experience. So the mango hype.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you gonna be doing on like what's so hashtag mango? So I search hashtag the mango hype. What do I find?
Basically, you'll just be seeing me be crazy. I'm
Jumping
a
out of
mystery box.
planes?
I'm a mystery box. Every single day we're unraveling something new.
So he also has no idea. That's such a cute way to say we'll see when we get there.
Exactly.
But I like you have PRO kuna PRO. It's like aside from you almost being cancelled, I see like you actually have good PR. And then so now what's your take on justice? Like, I'm just some ladies working, some guy, some kids, everybody likes kids, I think. Is working in front of you. Let's say it's like 10, 11. He's holding this Fanta orange. He's drinking it. And then another kid just passes by and grabs it and runs. What do you do? Like you're walking behind and you're seeing the whole thing. And like, let's say the other kid isn't running that fast. So what do you do?
I'd actively be involved. I think that's one of the craziest things that my friends and family actually know about me is trust Billy to be involved even when he doesn't need him to be there.
Okay, so
I genuinely want to understand why this whole thing is happening. Again, kids can be kids.
Yes.
But then I'd really would want to know, do they even know each other to begin with?
So this one is gone. This one is there, shocked. You're there processing. Like this thing didn't happen haraka.
I'm not processing. I'm saying I'm gonna be involved, obviously.
What are you gonna do? Like physically, what action are you gonna take? Like you are walking. Then you are walking. Now what are you doing?
Let's get this one a soda. Can we find the other kid who's dashed off?
So are you gonna tell this guy, let's run after him?
No.
What are you gonna run after the kid?
The question is so ambiguous though. Do these kids know each other?
No, that's the thing. All you know is that there's a child in front of you and there's another child and huyu ameenda na soda ya huyu mwingine. What do you do?
I'd try to remedy the situation with the kid that I'm left with. If the other one is dashed off, honestly, I don't think I can run that far.
So you wouldn't run after the other kid?
No.
So what do you do with the kid who's left?
Comfort them and get them another soda. I don't know. Honestly,
I need context.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so many spaces. Like there's so many things to fill out. Like it's so ambiguous. Like, would you start like dashing after someone that you've seen on the road? Try and grab something.
I'm not taking Billy Mango on a game show because the amount of processing power it takes for him before he decides to take action is like a lot. Because I'm like, there are two kids. Uyu amenyanganywa soda, uyu mwingine amekimbia, and Billy's like, I first would like to understand. Like, sangapi, una understand? So I'm not taking you on a game show. Like, ukisikia tu nimeitiwa a game show and like I'm supposed to be, I'm not taking you along. Like, you're not the guy.
And that's why I'm telling you guys. Actually, where I sit right now, I'm good with sitting in the back. I just sit behind a computer and just do things.
Okay.
I don't think human interactions.
The customer doesn't know anything.
It's true though.
Yeah.
Follow me. You'll find out. I'll explain it later.
Okay. So if you could use a piece of tech, a software, something, a tech solution to solve a problem in Kenya, what would that solution be and what would you be solving?
When it comes to my field,
yeah,
guys, why do people have the necessity to ask you what will you solve with the degree that you're pursuing? What if I'm just pursuing the degree to just be in tech? But honestly, I don't have like any software that I have in mind that I'd want to create or program. But the thing that I'd love to see for us is, for example, as it stands, Africa is majorly filled with youth, and I'd love to see the youth make a name for themselves in tech. Yeah, there's so much that we can do. I don't know, we could have our own Silicon Valley, but not call it Silicon Valley.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah, call it like Kamkunji or something.
Kamkunji has a little spice to it. But like basically,
I was joking. This man does not know what he's talking about.
But basically, that's it. as I'm in the field, although I'm not gonna stay in the field for that long. I want to retire.
He's fighting
guys.
his degree, you can tell.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'd love to see spaces where people can come together and tech innovation. For example, the spaces that ALX is creating.
Okay.
I want to see that for myself, where I left a mark, I left a difference, even if I didn't basically create something or a program.
So networking spaces.
Yeah, networking spaces.
Innovation.
Exactly.
Just to bring people together to share ideas.
Exactly.
Okay, so a lot of my friends who are in development, who are coders and all of that, I have one particular one who says there's an app for that, or there should be an app for that. So the app for that would be an app that where everybody can upload their CV.
Not necessarily. Let me put it this way. If you've been to the ALX hubs, to those that have been, it's just spaces where we come together and work on code, do something. Basically,
a co-working space.
Yeah, not necessarily a co-working space. A place that actively has people having conversations on, for example, AI or cloud computing. When we're saying AI, do people actively know what AI is? So I'm imagining a space where people can actually come and learn and network. If you're sourcing people who are already in that field, for example, when you look at database management, when you look at Oracle, for example, if you've created a space where people in tech can come together and sit and understand what database management is about and how they can source for classes. If, for example, as you've said, if someone is trying to apply for a job, just basically a convention of sorts, let me just say that, a community. But it just doesn't happen once in a year.
Right.
It's a community that people actively are in.
Right.
Like, for example, when you look at the Kwani books, if you're into that type of thing.
What is that?
It's a creative space, basically, for literature.
Okay.
For the appreciation of like, literature.
People who are not traumatized by reading in school.
Yeah, they really want to pursue it in adulthood. We should actually do a study on that and understand why. But honestly, I love... Yeah, so creating that kind of space, basically.
There's an app for that is what I'm saying. So the app looks like you putting up your information.
Oh, there's an app.
No, that's the app we're creating.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where we're at. You get me now?
No, I get you.
Do you guys see what I said about the processing power? Do you see why I'm not taking him? So the app is everything you're saying, but putting this information on an app. So basically, I'm Caroline. I don't know anything, but I'm able to go onto it. It's like Tinder, but like for this is what I want. So I want to connect with people who are doing this kind of like techie stuff. I'm looking for women in tech. So like development, like maybe girls who code. So I'm looking for girls who code and maybe girls who code and are doing social justice work. So then they have uploaded their profiles. So the app has cute ways of putting this information, like your Facebooks, your Instagram, but like, a very specific interface, and then now it's easy for me to find people. So it's like if I'm an employer, easy for me to find people to employ. If I'm just somebody who wants to learn, I can find your ALX there. You can have your groups like LinkedIn. So it's basically just like another, social media platform but it would be an app that you find all of this, information on. And honestly, like that excites me. Like the idea of like an app where you find everything you need when it comes to this. So yeah, so you should think about that.
I will look into it.
Okay, and then so what does justice look like to you?
Justice, when you mention the word justice, I think for me it's more of things like people's rights, accountability for wrongs that are done.
Okay.
Justice also looks like creating spaces where people are actively like taught what it means to respect,
right,
and uphold. Kizungu guy.
Tumia lugha unajua. Tumia. Feel free.
Yeah.
Tuongeleshe hapa Kiluya. Please don't. I will be so lost. Bonta Aki scam artists, Gen Zs, when it comes to their mother tongue, they're like, catch me outside.
I do not even have a defense, but in my defense, my mom never acted. For someone who can actually speak my mom can actually speak 6 languages.
And then there's Billy Mango.
And then she decided, you know what, I'm just going to speak to my kids in English.
So it's a parents we need to round up.
Mkutano
and be like, y'all fix it.
And I've barely left Nairobi as much to have stayed like elsewhere as much.
Yeah.
So school, it's either English or Swahili, back at home English or Swahili, so I never got that.
Gen Z wamesema achaneni na sisi hatujui hizi lugha. Stick to English, Swahili, but yeah, here we flow. So if you want to say, if you feel led to like, speak in a language that nobody understands, I'll listen for like a minute and be like, have you gotten it off your chest? Now tell us what you said.
Tell us what you said.
And say it properly now. Yeah, so we're easy. But like basically, justice is something that we think about a lot here on Sheversations. And we're in the season, like we started off this conversation talking about justice, because gender-based violence is a lack of justice. Violence is a lack of justice. Not taking the right measures when GBV has existed for so long and at such horrible rates is a lack of justice. So you're a man, you're a guy, obviously. Are you? Now we have to ask, are you a man?
I am a man.
You can confirm. It's like 2024 is wild. It's wild. Okay. What's going on in Kenya? Why are women being killed? Why are women being beaten and battered? I know that that's such a broad question, but what's going on?
Where do I even start?
Heavy.
It's heavy. Again, as you said, a bit ambiguous. But when you look at it, it stems from a lot on the values that we've been raised with. It's not an issue that just happened where I was just like, oh my God, women are being killed into it. It's a system that has been upheld. That people barely like acknowledge. That's the craziest thing, that they don't even know they're acknowledging this system and being
upholding it.
Yeah, like people are actually
thriving in the system.
Yeah, that as a man, I don't even realize that I'm benefiting from that system, which is very, very dangerous. And I think for me, as something that an issue, I wouldn't pretend that I was aware about the issue up until the start of this year when the conversations began.
Yes,
and it really pushed me into like going deeper into understanding it.
Yes.
Beyond saying, oh, I have sisters, oh, I have a mother, a situation outside of me, and being like, oh, by there as a man, I can never experience this, but this is messed up. And what am I doing to remedy the situation? So I just took a deep dive into it. Even now for example, with the 16 days of activism, when we look at GBV, the violence that is perpetrated against someone by virtue of their gender, which is mostly women, and we see its roots, mostly it's seen in domestic violence, but now in Kenya, it's become a rampant issue where we're having women being killed by virtue of their gender. Hence the word femicide, which is the killing of females by virtue of their gender. And it's a very, very heated conversation, especially when you see the kind of sentiments that people hold, even when you're having that conversation in public. For example, way back while we were way before the people had the march, there was a conversation of people were holding placards. I think they were in a park. I think it was Jivanji. And then some men come and they're like,
Jivanji.
And then these men come and they're like, we'll kill you. We'll kill women. Why are you eating our money? And it's really, really concerning to imagine that people are raising an awareness that women are being killed in the society. And you see people in broad daylight, no shame whatsoever, not stuttering, and you can even see the hate and the spite. And he's clearly
he's not ashamed. How Gopi.
And it really, really goes to show, as you said, now when we see that it's a system that people thrive in. It's beyond ignorance at this point, because if you have someone actively standing in public and saying how he will kill women by virtue of them eating their money, quote unquote. It's really, really concerning. It's really
Uber.
Exactly. Like it's really, really concerning to imagine that there is no value for human life, for a lady's life, over pizza.
We think we can equate a woman's life to, I'm like, there's injustice. Alikula pesa yako, but like also, were you forced? You made a choice. You made a bad deal. Do I deserve to lose my life because I gave you a bad deal? And do I owe you my body?
So it's really, really crazy. And as she said, it also stems from us understanding how did it begin? How are these values taught? And I think for me, it starts with the smallest things. Because when I was looking deeper into it, I understood how, for the longest while, growing up, when I was stepping into social media, when people are like, all men. At first, I took it so offensively. I'm like, I've never done that.
Like, yeah, mbona unaniweka
Why are you
hapo?
saying all men?
Yeah.
But when you do a deeper dive into it, it's really, really concerning that 90% of women all have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Like it's
a
really,
dark
really
story.
like a dark story to tell. 90% of women, statistically, when you look at it right now, 1 out of every 3 women faces domestic violence.
Yeah.
Do you know how concerning that is? That it just happens. This is something that actually
It's
just happens to
normal.
them
Yeah.
by virtue of their agenda, not over anything, not over she killed someone, hence she deserved that,
Yeah.
or she was evil. No, by virtue
Yeah.
of the fact that she was born a woman, this violence can be perpetrated against her. So now actively seeing how, okay, fine, Billy, you didn't accost someone on the road, you didn't rape someone, but then when your friends were having those conversations, did you call them out? When your other friend was telling you how, oh, by the way, this girl sent me nudes, I can share them. Oh, by the way, my girlfriend made me angry, I beat them up. Did I actively stand and say, hey, by the way, no? Am I actively unlearning things? You see, things I'm like, a woman can't do that.
Yeah.
A woman, the kind of stereotypes and notions that are passed towards people by virtue of their gender.
Right.
So it really took me deep to do a lot of introspection and see
Right.
it's beyond me actually doing the violence. It's how I'm upholding the system, barely even talking about it. Because when we refuse to give this place, like this conversation, this issue, a place to speak, for the conversations to be held,
Yeah.
then it's never really actually a concern in society, and it continues to happen.
Yes.
And that's why you would see people actively saying, can we post about it on social media? Can we have those conversations at home?
Yes.
The way children are raised. Like, it's really, really concerning. And I'm seeing how, again, as I've said, these things were ingrained in you as a kid, that whenever a situation happens, it's the lady, what were you dressed in?
Yeah.
Why were you
Victim
there?
blaming.
Yeah, victim blaming, exactly. Never actively seeing,
That
but then
there's-
can we talk to the boys that
Don't ever hurt
don't
nobody.
ever, you do not have any authority or agency over a woman or her body or
Yes.
her basically her life,
Yes.
by virtue of the fact that she's a woman. And I think that is something that has really been pushed, and we are really, really far from getting past it, because you would
Right.
assume with all this, the conversations being held, for example, even right now on radio, the conversations on social media, when you still look at it, for example, when you go to the comment section, you see what people are still saying.
Yeah.
It's
The comment section is dark.
really, really dark. It's a hard struggle, but I personally believe making the effort does
Right.
actually bring the change.
I love that. Thank you. So you've said so many profound things, and something that really, really stood out from what you said is the fact that I, as a man, have never accosted anybody, never raped anybody, never really, harmed a woman, where this GBV matters and femicide matters is concerned. However, how do I actively uphold the system? And that is such a great point of self-reflection. So on that note, what can men do? What can men do to help, to fight against gender-based violence, to help women in this? What can men do?
Again, as I said, we have the law, and we'll speak about the law as like, yeah, the law is amazing and everything. That will help seek the justice. But I think actively having these conversations, not dismissing them, it's a matter of unlearning and relearning. And it's not easy, because again, as I've said, these are things that are ingrained in, like, it's a whole system. It's not something that it's not a matter that just exists. This is a whole system that has been fabricated, that has been made, and it's upheld. So I think for us as men, actively having these conversations, even with our fellow men on, by the way, this happened, how can we see this change? You get? And then I think one of the biggest concern is when people are raising their concerns about the femicide issue, for example, and people are like, oh, men have the most rates of suicide. I think it becomes an activism. It becomes a protest against the actual protest.
Yeah.
Because we should have spaces where all these matters are spoken about separately. So for you as a guy, when you find yourself, the first thing to say when a lady is telling you, oh, by the way, ladies are being raped and killed, and the first thing is to say men are also dying, it's really, really concerning.
It's counterproductive.
It's counterproductive.
You're besides the point.
You're besides the exactly, because whenever then what is the which conversation should be held about the men or the women?
Are you trying to cancel out what I'm saying? But it's not the pain Olympics.
Exactly. So it's more of unlearning a lot, going into these spaces, listening to these stories.
Right.
I think one of the craziest things is people saying, as long as I'm away from the situation, as long as it's not my sister or my mother,
Yeah.
what necessitates me sitting there? And basically, at the end of the day, while we're fighting for human rights, you have to understand that some situations are really outside of you. So beyond while the protests were having, not the protests, while the marches were happening earlier on this year, we were having conversations with our friends, and it was more of, I will not say I'm protesting because I'm trying to imagine if it was my sister. I am protesting because this is a human being deserving of life. There shouldn't be any correlation between me and them for me to decide, let me jump into it and help them.
Right.
As long as it's not my sister or cousin or mother or grandmother or aunt, I'm outside the situation. So actively seeing the situation outside of yourself and having conversations where a lady will tell you how, and it happens. It's a crazy thing that happens. Even while you're using a matatu, a lady was touched inappropriately. Will you speak out and be like, by the mbona umefanya kitu kama hiyo? So actively being there to remedy the solution.
Right.
Kuambia mtu wako kijana as they're growing up, you're not entitled to a woman.
Yeah.
By virtue of being a man, you're not entitled over her life.
Yeah.
So basically that's it for me.
Wow, thank you. That makes a lot of sense, and I think it speaks to culture being dynamic, that in order for us to get where we are, it's things that have been encouraged, systematically, time and time again. We've had things that have been said that have made it okay for men to touch women, men to feel like, they own women. So, uyu mama kikata like kunipea, it's okay for me to offer. And so on that same note, because what is needed is a culture change, a culture shift, and you've said continuing the conversation and, intentionally, and being in a position to take action, realizing, we talk about this, but what do you actually do in those situations? So now something that's interesting is that a lot of men become defensive. You have mentioned that, the not me, like not all men, the whole men also die responses. And that's a defense mechanism. That's just being defensive. And I understand it. But from a man's perspective, how can we create safer spaces where men are able to have these conversations? They're able to take accountability where accountability is due. They're able to learn without necessarily feeling like their masculinity is being threatened, like they're being attacked, because I know that those conversations are not always facilitated as well as we would like. Even if there is a problem, then we need to get to a solution. And if we're solving this problem, like we've said, for our country, meaning for both men and women, it means that we need to bring men on board. We don't want to exclude men. And African feminism is not a feminism that excludes men. So what does it look like? What do you think it would take? What would it take for us to create safe spaces for men to be able to have these conversations where you're seated right next to those Givenchy guys, and now you have this opportunity to talk to them? What would happen? How do you create the safe spaces? How do you get abusers into the room? How do you get young men into the room and how do we make safe spaces for men to talk about these issues so that we can learn from each other?
For one thing, for someone who's like deep into justice, I've always realized whenever the narrative is being told, I think the victim is one person who should explain the narrative best. I know now we would want to listen to both perspectives, but for example, when you want to create these spaces, as you said, I would love, when we were looking at the situation for example, in France, there was a lady who was, I don't know if people actively saw it, where she was raped by her husband, dragged her, and then he called the villagers to come, and it was
dark.
It was dark. Now the lady came out. She didn't hide. She came out and she was actively seeking justice. So I think for me, one of the things that we can do as men is allow victims to speak up, because as you said, one thing, the victim blaming is one thing that is very, very, it's affecting how open we can have, how well we can have these conversations. Because if a lady who has been raped cannot stand up and speak, you see, is she dismissed and told, hatutaki kusikia hizo story, kaa kando? It really, again, as I've said, it takes away from the situation. You really don't see the situation from the victim's POV. So I honestly believe that women should steer those conversations.
Okay.
And again, as men, we give them spaces to do so. For example, now with the marches that are happening, for example, tomorrow, on social media, when these conversations, when ladies are speaking and saying this, we should actually give them space and grounds to actually tell us, by the I'm the one who's facing this issue. How best can you, how, because I honestly believe that ladies can tell us how we can best remedy the situation. But again, as I've said, where we actively seek to change.
Okay.
You get?
Okay.
Where the ladies are telling us, by the as a guy, I do not appreciate when you talk to me in this manner. I do not appreciate when you do ABCD. And now as a guy, I actively change and see it from how she presented the issue without trying to break it down or see it from my lens or see how it, because again, as I've said, it takes away from the person and it entirely comes back to you. So actively having spaces on social media where people can speak, where we have conventions,
Right.
where we advocate for justice.
Right.
Because it's really, really concerning that we as fellow men are seeing men perpetrate such heinous acts against women and we're barely speaking up about it. Where we see someone attacking a woman with a panga, slashing her so many times. And it's out there on the news.
Yeah.
And there is barely any men who are coming out and being like, hey, by the way, this guy should be arrested.
Yeah.
You're just seeing the outcry of the women in the comment section.
Yeah.
And it just begs the question, where are the men in all this?
Yeah.
Are they that detached from society?
Yeah.
Or is life really around them? You get?
Speaking on that detachment, then that means that there's something going on with men. How can they heal? Because hurt people, which means that there's a lot of men hurting in the society. I know, guys, women are hurting too. Women hurt people too. But clearly, with where this conversation is going, you understand why I'm asking this. Is there a way for men to heal? Do you think that there's hope in Kenya? Is there hope? Can men heal? And if they can, how? How do we move from this is a rapist to a man who upholds justice? This is a wife beater to a man who really protects young girls. This is a pedophile who sleeps with little girls and now he's a champion for social justice. Can men heal and how?
Can men heal? They actually can. They can. A lot of work needs to go into it.
Yeah, what needs to happen?
Again, as I've said, when we look at the smallest social unit, that is the family, having those conversations where, for example, as I plan to be a dad, how will I be speaking to my son? Will I be sitting my daughter on the side and telling her, make sure you don't walk in the dark, make sure you don't dress like this, make sure you don't talk to a guy like this? Or will I actively also be calling my son in the room and being like, I don't expect you to do ABCD to your sister? So again, as I've said, it always starts with the smallest social unit. Because again, as I've said, the gender-based violence, in its most extreme and common cause is seen in domestic violence, which is perpetrated in the home by the father figure majorly. So when we look at a space where a son is growing in this kind of environment, for him, he grows up with the understanding, I can beat a woman if my mood is not in the best place. So the change actually really has to start in the household. Beyond it going on the streets, on social media, it has to start at home. Yeah. Where the dad is like, by the way, I can't beat my wife. I have no authority or agency to beat my wife. Yeah. Where he's actively educating his sons on how best to behave around women. Because as I've said, these are things, the issue and the violence perpetrated against women isn't something that just flew in the air recently. Again, as I've said, it's a system that has been created and is actively like being ingrained in people's minds that by the time they're growing up, especially in your formative years, because your formative years really determine how you're going to carry yourself as you become an adult. So when you're having a place where you actively speak to your sons on, but then there's this kind of violence going against women, right? And I don't expect you to be part of it. This is how I expect you to behave around a woman. You get? Yeah. Because again, as I've said, we can't go to the victims and start victim blaming them. Yeah. Where I'm now telling my sister, don't walk in the dark. Yes, I will actually have my concerns about her walking in the dark because of men. But then are we actively telling men you don't have any agency over a woman? So again, as I've said, I think for me personally, where I stand, and for the much that I've read, I think the change usually actually has to begin at home. Right. Again, and then the kind of, because it's really, really hard for you to determine how social settings like outside of yourself are going to happen with how people relate with each other, for example. Like for the kind of friends that you know, I don't think I'd have any agency to come and tell you guys, by they behave in this kind of manner. Right. But when you're actively having these conversations, for example, now with parents, with mothers and fathers actually acknowledging, because the worst thing about this situation is that even when you look at misogyny, is the fact that even other women help uphold this system.
Yeah.
Because a woman, you find a lady telling you, if your husband beats you, that's common.
Yeah.
Don't seek justice.
In
If, you
fact,
have,
anakupenda.
if
It's
he
just-
loves you,
yeah.
get.
Ama alikuwa tu amekasirika mwelewe tu. You know
And
how
it's-
men are.
Exactly. So, ni system yenye tu imeingisha kila mtu. It's holding the women down. And so actively having those conversations at home where even mothers actually, because the crazy thing is there are ladies who are out there and they're also not acknowledging that this is actually an issue.
True.
And up until we can have like for example, even now with the outcry that happened with the protests, where everyone actually gets out on the streets, men and women alike step on the streets and like, by then this can't continue. This can't be the narrative that we always get to tell all the time.
Yes.
So beyond home, we also seek to have those conversations, as uncomfortable as they may be.
Yes.
Have them with people in the
Yes.
church spaces.
Yes.
Because again, as I've said, hizi spaces zenye zinaletanga watu pamoja ndo zinakuanga na the greatest places that create so much change.
Right.
When you look at places like church, for example, if you're a Muslim, when you go to the mosque, or when you go to that, when you're doing your studies, when you're in school, these conversations actively need to be there. Tunaambiwa by the hii kitu inafanyika. Because up until like there's an outcry from so many people, inakuwa to an underlying issue that very few people are talking about. Yeah, 6 people are talking about, but it's an issue that is affecting society as a whole.
Yeah. You should care even before ikufikia personally.
Exactly.
Wow. And speaking about taking action and what needs to happen, tomorrow is International Human Rights Day. So yeah, speak on that. Like, do you have any activities planned for tomorrow, and how would you like to see men coming out, especially being the last day of a 16 days of activism against GBV?
So tomorrow there's the couple of marches happening. In a couple, I choose to assume in a couple of cities in Kenya right now, Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu. When you go online, they have the venues and the spots where people are meeting and how people are supposed to conduct themselves.
Yeah.
Again, as I've said, people are raising concerns, but there is a proper way to raise those concerns. So there are a couple of marches that are happening. Again, on social media, when you see the hashtags, use them. Because again, as I've said, it
What
creates
are the
an
hashtags?
awareness. End femicide, end violence against women.
Yeah.
End GBV. 16, even now, for example, now with the hashtag 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. So they are there. The hashtags are there on Twitter. Actively use them so that it creates, so the conversation like really gets out there, so that people actually understand that this is an issue that actually needs to be handled way before it gets out of hand.
Right.
Because when you look at situations, for example, like South Africa, femicide is such a big issue.
Yeah, it is. And they're saying Kenya is now number 2.
Exactly. Now, and it's really, really concerning for people to have a leaderboard on such atrocities.
That's facts.
Like, it's really, really bad to imagine that Kenya is actually running
And
up.
winning at being horrible.
And again, as I've said, until the conversation is had, it's an issue that becomes inaendelea kugrow na kufester and becomes a problem that inakuwa out of hand. So, yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful conversation. And right before we wrap it up in a moment, if you were to write a song in support of women, in support fighting against GBV, anything, what would the name of that song be? Or what would be like a powerful lyric chorus?
Oh my God, she literally she knows what she did with that. But with that, I think...
I like that it's making you think.
It is. Because you're... I have it.
Okay. Let's cook, sir. Wasani, guys. Behind the scenes. Creativity in progress.
It's not easy. It's not easy, but I think... the line that would speak the most to me. Okay, I hope it doesn't sound too basic.
Just say it. Come on. I mean, you've just come up with it. Like, we're not expecting a finished product. Is this imposter syndrome live on air? Come on. You said you had it and I saw the excitement on your face. What would it be?
Because you're worth... Wait, the word, guys. Hey.
Okay.
I'm a creative. Let me just say that. Chebaki, you've semi mini creative work. The craft is not easy, guys.
Okay.
Because your worth can never be tainted.
Your worth can never be tainted. That's beautiful. That's Kwanisa Olukona. What were you panicking for? What was the issue?
Quite different. I'm doing a Debbie Ryan talk
Lol.
for my pop culture fans. If you know the Debbie Ryan talk.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, thank you so much, Billy Mango. Thank you for coming out and just sharing your opinions on this matter. It's really important, just for anybody who's watching, for us to have conversations that are 360, all round. We're involving every member of society. We've had some older guys coming here to talk about these matters. We've had artists coming to talk about this. Now we have, he's an artist, he's a student, very passionate about justice. You have heard for yourself. It's extremely important for us to have opinions that are valid in the society that we live in. If you don't know what to think about this matter, then listen to people that do, educate yourself, formulate an opinion, and see what needs to be done from your perspective. So thank you for the work that you're putting in, just being an ally, being somebody who cares and sees that as your struggle. You're not seeing it as a women's issue, you're seeing it as a human issue, and that is so admirable. And just for emphasizing on how men can come into this conversation, and also just breaking down to us where the problem began, that this is a systematic issue, it's a cultural issue. And I love that because culture is dynamic, it can be changed. And we just need to know what kind of change we need to do. And we'll see ourselves in a Kenya where we are marching for more money. We're marching for, I don't know, better roads. I would prefer that those are our most serious fights. Those are what's like traffic lights work. Can they work everywhere? Can we abolish traffic police? And can we have sewers and gutters that work? Sewer systems that work in our streets. Like, imagine if that was like our greatest concern as a country, and we were not, advocating for human life. And people being physically safe within their bodies and in their environments. That would be so beautiful. And let's continue working towards the Kenya we want to see. So thank you. Just like a 30-second parting shot.
It was nice being on air. It's like, I feel like a celebrity.
Wow. I mean, yes.
But thank you, Power Radio, so much for having me here.
All right.
I love that I'm actually doing my deed in society and actively playing a part in seeing the change come.
Right.
Yeah, so follow me on social media.
Okay.
Do not follow me on social media. It was a joke.
Where can
my
we
social
find
media
him?
is
_Billy _Mango.
My social media is private. You will marinate in that follower request.
He said hashtag what hype. It was what your hashtag was?
Mango, the mango hype.
The mango hype, and he doesn't want us to find him on social media. This is a man who's yet to discover what he wants in life, but it's fine. It's okay. You have judged us. We've laughed. You judged me. You judged me because I wanted to put my foot on my head. It's fine.
But that's the thing. You can't tell me that a favorite memory is other people suffering on your account. How is that a favorite memory?
I was 4 years old. You don't need to be advocating for anyone. My mom chose to give birth. She picked her struggle. That is a truth. That is the hill that she chose to die on. So that was her problem. All right. Yeah. Okay. And I think this is a beautiful note for us to end our Sheversations for today. And Kamakawa guys, I'm gonna be meeting you guys on Wednesday, on Friday, and I hope you guys enjoy your Christmas responsibly. We already talked about that. Makubaliana, y'all go home if you're supposed to be home. Y'all do everything. Y'all don't be creating September babies if that's not your intention. And remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. I will never forget to let you know. I love you guys. Thank you, Billy, for being here. And I am gonna see you guys on Wednesday. Bye. Mwah.
Bye, guys.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Thinking it's my charm, now I know your truth is where freedom begins. I'm prayed up, now I can define it again. Willpower never won any war, so I know to get to you I gotta get on the floor. Shida zangu, yeah, I've been here before, lakini kitu gani kweli ni ngumu for my Lord. yangu mina kupa wetawala. Sema ombi ni ibada, na magoti ndiyo njia kukupata. Daily nipate nikisala, maisha yangu mina kupa wetawala.
Ombi langu faraja, imani yangu ibada, neema yako msaada. Ombi langu faraja, imani yangu ibada, neema yako msaada. Faraja, faraja, ibada, ibada, msaada, msaada. Faraja, faraja, ibada, ibada, msaada, msaada.
Flow ya Aaron iko underway. Ninachofanya una bless my way. Wani mwangaza even when the clouds are gray. Wanirudisha hata nikigo astray. Misi worry, mina pray very early, a killer day. On the daily, mi nita set my alarm. Mina jenga na wewe na your foundation ni firm. Maombi ni ibada, na magoti ndiyo njia kukupata. Daily nipate nikisala, maisha yangu mina kupa wetawala. Sema ombi ni ibada, na magoti ndiyo njia kukupata. Daily nipate nikisala, maisha yangu mina kupa wetawala.
Ombi langu faraja, imani yangu ibada, neema yako msaada. Ombi langu faraja, imani yangu ibada, neema yako msaada. Faraja, faraja, ibada, ibada, msaada, msaada. Faraja, faraja, ibada, ibada, msaada, msaada. Ombi langu ni wewe, ombi ni wewe, ni wewe. Ombi langu, ombi ni wewe.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.